The Battle of Midway is one of the many great horrors of World War II. Many great military leaders' lives were lost during this battle, both for the American and Japanese navies. Under the command of the United States Navy admirals Chester Nimitz, Frank Fletcher, and Raymond Spruance, hundreds of thousands of U.S. soldiers were brought to Midway on strong and powerful U.S. warships. These huge warships carried soldiers, guns, ammunitions, planes, and other necessary supplies for the war effort. The average age of a U.S. soldier during World War II was 26. However, this being an average, there were also many younger men drafted into the war. In 1942, the U.S. Navy was made up of 640,570 men. 39% of the servicemen and servicewomen were volunteers, and 61 were draftees during all of World War II. The U.S. Navy lost 62,614 men. Only 307 of those were during the Battle of Midway. Japan was supposed to have the strongest Navy fleet in the world. However, the U.S. Navy, mainly by overwhelming the Japanese in numbers, took over this name of having the strongest Navy. Soon after crushing the Japanese Navy and military forces in the Pacific Ocean throughout many battles, the Japanese Navy suffered heavy losses during the Battle of Midway, which eventually forced them to go on the more defensive side. All four of Japan's carriers that were sent to the Battle of Midway were sunk, along with 240 aircrafts destroyed and a deafening 3,057 men killed. The Japanese had the idea of attacking the Midway Islands, where the U.S. stationed men and aircrafts at an airstrip in an attempt to take out the U.S. as a strategic power in the Pacific. Japan's plan was to lure the U.S. Navy's aircraft carriers into a trap so that they could launch an overwhelming attack on the ships. However, due to American codebreakers being able to figure out what the date and location of the Japanese attack would be, the U.S. Navy was able to launch a secret, unknown offensive attack against the vulnerable Japanese ships. After the U.S. Navy's airplanes took over complete dominance of the skies, multiple bombing runs were launched against all four of Japan's aircraft carriers, and they were rather quickly sunk, and the U.S. was guaranteed a great victory and devastating blow to Japan's military force.